Today I'm going to be doing a demo on the Vision API with Google. And this demo is suitable for anybody that wants to learn how to quickly use the Vision API and some of the benefits of it. So this is a little bit about myself. I've been working on a lot of Google projects for the past 10 years or so, been in IT about 20 years, and just really focusing really the past 2.5 years on GCP. Done a lot of G Suite, which is now Google Workspace, of course, as well. And I work with a lot of clients, and I also do trainings as well, helping people learn cloud. So what I like about this first slide is basically it's the question you want to ask yourself is, do you need a custom model, right? Do you need something that are you looking to create something that already exists and that Google provides? So when you're looking at this screen and you're looking at all these different APIs and tools you could jump into, we're going to be talking about the Vision API, but I just wanted to show this because it's giving you examples of the speech to text API, cloud natural language, cloud translation, dialogue flow, text to speech, and the video intelligence as well, which I'll touch briefly on that one. And all these are already created by Google, and you as a developer, and you're trying to take advantage of some of the stuff, you don't have to start from scratch. So that's the idea here. So another thing, what we're going to do, and when I pull up, the screen as far as doing some parts of the demo, you're going to see Auto ML Vision, and you're going to see the Vision API. And it's important to understand the difference between the two. And on this slide here, so when you're looking at the Auto ML Vision, more so for the machine learning, it really helps your developers who don't have expertise in that area, right? It's just, it really kind of helps you get like a quick start. The Vision API is going to require you to know some more about development, how to invoke APIs, things of that nature. And then some other different primary use cases. So when you're looking at the Auto ML Vision, you're trying to classify, you have some data, you already, pictures, images that you're trying to compare it against other images out there, where the Vision API is going to give you that information on images, existing images. So you could take an image that you may have, use the Vision API to get more insight on it. As far as some of the requirements, when you're using the Auto ML Vision, you're going to have images that have already been labeled, that has data on there. You're going to have more information on it. Whereas the Vision API, like I said, and you'll see shortly, I can just take a picture, plug it in, and we'll be off and running. So it's really cool. Kind of a few other things on this. I think the key thing to think about either of these tools is that they're both publicly available and you can use them right now. And they do have generous free tiers for these APIs. So it's really nice that you can jump right into it and start using it right away. So onto the Vision API. So looking at this, I like this image here because it kind of gives you different ideas and different ways you can use it, right? So one of my favorite ones is like the OCR, the optical character recognition, where you can basically you could take a picture of a sign or an image. It could be a screenshot of something, and it could pull text out. You also can look at things like the face detection as well. You take a picture, a lot of your cameras already, you pull up the camera, and it could, automatically focus on someone's face. So this Vision API can do that as well. And then other things like logo and landmark detection. If you're doing any kind of moderation, you need to filter out explicit content, you can do all that thing. All this stuff is built right in, right from the jump. So it's really cool. So for instance, I like this screen here, this slide we're looking at some folks that took a picture and you can see what the Vision API is picking out of the item, what is basically locating or finding, discovering. And you're seeing, hey, this person here is very likely to be happy, with the smile on the left-hand side of the screen. And then on the right side, the lady who's taking a picture with her phone, it's very unlikely that she's wearing any type of headwear. So these are some things that you'll see, like some types of data that you'll get when you're using the Vision API. And amongst other things, all you can see other fields here, if it's blurred, how it's tilted, things of that nature. And then one of the key stats that you're always going to notice, especially when you start talking about, any type of confidence or how sure are you of these images or what Google's detecting, that detection confidence score is, it's 93.5%, pretty much 94% sure of what it's found so far. So that's how it's determining that, and that's the result that you get. And then one other one, I like this one too. Like I've seen this in some demos in the past, and it's really nice because along with the Vision API, there is a video intelligence API. And this one, you can do the same thing, but you're doing it with video. So with video, in this image here, you're seeing at 1 minute and 14 seconds in this video, you have a bird's eye view. And within this bird's eye view, what folks are using this for is they can start labeling certain time sections of the video, certain start and end times to know what's popular to folks, looking at the video. So if it's movie trailers, they may want to know, okay, who likes watching videos or movie trailers that have bird's eye view in it? And if it's a high confidence score, you're seeing the 96% score again of what you're looking at. But the idea is for the developer to understand and get more insight on like what's popular. And these are just other ways of doing it. And it can just help you spark new ideas on how you can use this stuff, moving forward. All right, and then this last slide here before we jump into the demo is you can do this in your own browser now. So it's really cool. I'm going to pull over, do that here in a second, and just basically show you how this works, and then we'll jump into it with a Kubernetes cluster as well. So I will pull this over first. Get this here. All right. So before we'll go into, okay, so on the Google page here, and I'll zoom in here just to make it a little clearer. We're looking at the Vision AI again, what we're just talking about. And I'm going to take an image I have. Now, before I grab the image, you see, as I talked about a little bit earlier with the Auto ML Vision and the Vision API, it once again they're similar but not the same. And I like a nice little explanation of what those are on this front page. But I'm going to take a picture and just drag it in. This is something I downloaded. And then you're going to see, down here in the Texas area, we have, when I moved down here, I saw a lot of these birds, these green jays. I never saw them before. So I thought it was a good one to show because when you're looking at the labels, you really kind of get a lot of insight on it, what type of birds, a songbird, the bird's perched, and then when you click on things like the vertebrae, it will kind of give you more insight on that as well. So this is all just right from the site. That you'll get just by if you just want to play with it yourself. And then if you want to get your JSON code and so forth, you can just click on that and you can get that here at the bottom of the screen. So you can just get that just by uploading any JPEG right up here on the site. Some more info here with the dominant colors, which is very nice. So you can get, if you need to get specific colors, you'll have that. And then last but not least, you'll have your, if it's safe search and things of that nature. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the other part of the demo. Let me just move this over here. Sorry about that. I got so many windows going on here. Right. All right, apologies. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Google Cloud Console. Oh, there it is too. Got both of those set up. And in this demo, what we're going to do, we're going to set up a Kubernetes cluster, and then we're going to use the Vision API to run a crawler and look at and identify images on a Reddit page. Okay. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to use Cloud Shell. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit here. And for those of you that don't know, Cloud Shell just allows you to, and you can install the admin SDK on your own computer if you like. But what I like about it is, like, if you don't want to do that, you can just use a web browser and get into, manage your GCP resources and things of that nature. So the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to use the config zone. We're going to use US Central 1A. We've done that. And then we'll do G Cloud. We're going to create these container. Let's create. But once this session is over, I'll be sure to share with the organizers how you can do this on your own. These are publicly available in GitHub, and they're also there's some cool labs that are similar to this as well. And so, yeah, once we type in our command to create our Kubernetes cluster, it's going to ask for authorizations. Let's take a moment here. Usually takes a couple minutes. While that's going, if we go into GCP and I click on clusters, you'll start to see this in the background is starting to create as well. So you also could use the console if you like. It's just whatever you prefer. And we'll just let that go. Some other things that this is, while that's actually creating, I'll show you to be aware of, is like when you're using these APIs, you can manually enable them. You can do it programmatically as well, but the purpose of this one is we're going to be using the Vision API. You could come in here and look at it, and you can also, there's some documentation on it and the support, and if you hit manage, you can really see like what your free tiers looks like. So I'm looking at the quotas right now. And so when I look at the quotas, like you could see, how many times you could request it. There's 1,800 per minute. And then there's just different categories here: face detection, celebrity recognition, landmark, detection requests, logos. So all kinds of things here within the tier that you could do. Here's your safe search as well that you want to use. And so a lot of good info that you want to be aware of. And while we're waiting for that to create, we could just look over here. Typically, it takes a couple minutes. I mean, depending on the time of day, it just depends on the region zone you pick, but it should be good here shortly. And then once this is created, we're going to go into that cluster, and because this project is has the stuff set up already, so basically it's going to be using a few different things. I can tell you a little bit about what it's using. It's going to be using a Redis instance, for the data, a web app as well that's going to display the labels with the associated images. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be a worker node that scrapes all the images from Reddit and then classifies them to what type of image they are using the Vision API. So also some PubSub is being used to coordinate tasks between the worker instances, and we'll see that as well. So great. So in this case, we've already got this set up. And before we even do look at our kube control, we'll need to get authorization to this cluster. And then we've done that. Oh, one more thing. We have to bring over some data. So so there's a couple different ones that you can use. So what we're going to do is there's a cloud storage bucket that has the data in it, and we're going to pull that in. All right, so before we do that, get this updated. And then, since we're using Cloud Shell, we're going to use a virtual environment for this, so we don't just have a lot of stuff remaining, once it's completed. Awesome. So we're using Python for this as well. And then we're also going to and then we're going to activate it. All right, so the next thing here, now we're going to get the sample. So this is the key. We're going to we're going to use gsutil to copy this over from a cloud storage bucket. So we're using that command. It's going to be recursive. And you see the GS, and that's the cloud storage bucket with the resources in it. So we're going to copy all this over. You'll see the All Vision and the Redis and all this, the web app and everything that's coming over. Okay, that complete. Okay, that's it. And then now we're going to go ahead and the Cloud Vision folder. So Python, right? And then from here, we're going to go ahead and make all the files. Once we get into the All Vision folder. All Vision. So we're going to go ahead and create this. So we're creating the application now. So a part of this process here, what it's doing is using Docker images. It's going to be built. It's put in the global container registry, which is private within your project. I could probably, while this is going, it goes pretty quick. I'll show you something about the container registry as well. But still, this is just where you could push and pull your images into your own registry as well. So that's where everything's going to go. And then once that happens, we're going to, it's generating everything with these templates, and then it's going to fill them with information specific to this project, what we're doing in GCP. And then from there, we're going to be able to see all the different nodes running and things within Kubernetes. So just take a moment. You're seeing a lot of the Docker builds in this, some of this text here as it's going through. Let this continue. And you'll actually, while that's going, I will go back and you can see some of the stuff that it's starting to build. There's the Redis already being built, things like that. It's pushing all these images in here. This GCR.io, that's our container registry. This is the name of our project. And there's the worker that's going in as well. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, step out there. Okay. And then now you can see these are all the different, the pods, the worker nodes running, things of that nature. And then what we'll do, and you can see more about the IP addresses and things like that of the different nodes. So we have all the Kubernetes resources up and running. And then what we're going to also do is, purpose of this demo, we're looking at the different services, right? So what you see here with this All Vision web app, it is a load balancer. These are the internal cluster IPs here. That's what those are. And you're going to see it's going to be external. So there's a public-facing web app here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And right now, this is just, like I said, the brief demo of the All Vision. It's going to be looking at this, this Reddit, this subreddit. And we're going to just go ahead and start the crawler. And it's going to be going to that subreddit, looking at the images there, and then classifying them and putting them into different like buckets, explaining what they are. So I just clicked on that, and it started the crawler. And then I'll go back. And as you can see, it's starting to pull them in. So like here's one, like I was looking at the different dog breeds, someone with dogs. Things with the otter as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool because like it gives you, what I like about this demo is that it gives you like a visual representation, like what you could, you're using this API, it's running in Kubernetes. I mean, you get really creative on certain different applications on how you're building stuff, whether it's like I showed you in the beginning, jumping right into a website and I just have any image on my computer. Oh, I want to know what this is. Like, if someone sent me an image, what is it? Animal or anything. And as we're scrolling through, if I even refresh more, it'll be, keeps on going. This one here is like autumn. It's looking at you can tell by like the leaves and things like that. So it's looking at different things to tell you, to just give you more insight on it. It's a funny one, cat with a cake as well. And then last but not least, so what I like at the bottom, and I will share this with the organizer, if you click on the view source, all this is in GitHub, and it kind of pretty much everything I just showed you, how you could replicate this yourself, even from creating Kubernetes and to making these resources. You can do that, and then you could play around with it yourself. And if any other ideas, I mean, you can use different languages. If you're using Java, if you're using whatever you primary application or IDE you use, you can do that. And then, as you see, it was using some things with Python with the web app, and there's, even if you want to use a different Reddit subreddit or a different website altogether, of course, you can do that as well. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. End of the demo. So that's all I have. Any questions about it? Any other questions? Okay. Any questions here? Awesome. Anybody?
Hey, Marty. I think he just shared session.
Are we good?
Oh, did you? So it was a question because we didn't see your screen.
Oh, you couldn't see it?
Yes, now we can see it.
Yeah.
You can share it again.
Okay, sure. Let me share it again.
Okay. We are in the town waiting your screen.
Let me see. Could you hear me? Could you see that?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
now you can continue.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Did you see anything from the beginning, or I couldn't hear?
No.
No, it was just for 20 seconds or something. It's okay.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm so sorry. So let me do a step back. All right, I'll do a step back after that. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't have any feedback. So what I did is I went through and created a Kubernetes cluster within GCP. And with this cluster, what it did have in it is it had different, there's a web app and there's a worker node. And this web app is actually what we're going to look at on this screen here. And this is what the Vision API is basically using, is actually using a crawler to look at a subreddit. This is All Vision subreddit on Reddit. It's called /all. And so what it does is that it looks at all the images in that subreddit, and then it's classifying them into different screens here, different categories. So like when we're looking at things like, hey, I can tell if somebody, folks that are dancing, and these are all live things that people have been uploading, which is really cool. Look at a little cute cheetah here as well. And so the idea of this application, what it did is that once we created it, it was using three main parts, and I'll show you, some of the code here. Is simple Redis and a web app that shows you those labels that I was just showing you on the screen, and then a worker, a worker node to handling the scraping for the images and classifying them using the Vision API. So that's really kind of like the gist of it. I could, I know we're probably running short on time. I mean, I could show it again. I don't know like what time thing going, but for some reason, I guess it didn't show initially. But this is how it's done. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I could go back through it. Like, how do y'all want to handle the next part? I know we're at 8:30 now, or 8:30. Half past an hour. And then there's also, like I said, the cluster info as well. You can see like the different, how Kubernetes is running within GCP, the backend master, and things of that nature. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Is how are we at time, or how much time do we have left? Because I could kind of go back through it again. I don't mind. Can you hear me? Oh, I have 10 minutes. Okay,
Yes,
great.
my
Yeah, I got 10 minutes. I'll just thank you. Cool. So this is what I'll do then. That being said, let me do this. I could run through it again. Let me go through it since there was an issue initially. It won't take me that long. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll run through it again since there was an issue initially. So we'll use a different project. So what we're going to do, we'll run through the demo again. And I'll use it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and set this up. And we're going to start it from the jump. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and set up a Kubernetes cluster first. We're going to use the right project. We're going to use Cloud Shell. The good thing about Cloud Shell, and I'm not sure if you heard me initially with Cloud Shell, instead of using your own SDK, which you could use on your own computer if you install the Google Cloud SDK, you can just use it in the browser built right in. So it's really nice from that perspective. And then in this case, we're going to make sure that we're using the right compute zone. Actually, we're in B this time. We're using B, using a different zone, which is a different data center. And then in this case, we're going to go ahead and create a Kubernetes cluster. It's going to have 2 nodes on it. And then while that's creating, you'll see in the background, I will go into the Google Cloud Console and we'll look at the different, you'll just see it happen in the background. You see where it's creating at, and it's kind of giving you some insight there. While that's going, I will show you again the APIs in the sense where when you enable them within GCP, you could see all your quota limits and know exactly like what you have available to you. So if you're building your application and you want to, I don't know, you're trying to grab a certain amount of images per minute or scan them or have certain things detected, you can look at the quotas ahead of time. And so you understand, okay, I can do for a face detection request, I can do 1,800 a minute, per user. So then there's different ones in here like the celebrity recognition as well. You have to consult, you have to reach out to them for that one. I guess not displayed in this chart. And then there's other ones like the landmarks. A lot of these are 1,800 minutes. 1,800 requests per minute, not 1,800 minutes. And there's the logo and text detection as well. So it's definitely smart to look at this first, just so you get an idea just before you start developing something to classify a lot of images, and then you don't want to run out of your quota as well. While that's still creating, I will also show you a little bit more about just a little cluster within GCP, like where it's going. It's kind of, here's another way you could look at and see the percentage of it, where it's at, and send it to health checks and things of that nature. So we'll let that continue to go. Right. So that's gone. That was the old one there. And then once this one is ready, all right. So in this case, we have everything set up. And then what we're going to do is make sure we can log into this cluster. We have the right credentials to get in. We can. And then if we do, I'm going to look at the cluster info. And then when we just run the kube control cluster info, we're just looking at, we have the master within GCP. You see the IPs here, the DNS, and the metric server and all that good stuff. So now we're going to update this, and we're going to set up a virtual environment real quick. Try to speed this up. And as that's sped up, I'm going to install the virtual environment. And we're doing this so that it just doesn't, it separates everything that we're doing within Cloud Shell. We're not just wasting stuff here. Let's get these packages. And we're going to activate this. All right. So now we're going to just use a cloud storage bucket. I'm just going to copy this over real quick. Use a GSUtil. This is a Google Cloud Storage bucket that has all this data in it from the Python code, the work, the web app, all this good stuff. So we're going to copy that over. And now we're going to go into that directory, and then we're just going to make we're just going to make the application. So we're going to make the web app real quick. And then once we make this web app, we'll be able to start the crawler. We're just going to look at this subreddit, take the images from that subreddit, and then classify them based on the type of image they are. Now, what you're seeing here is this, as it's creating, pulling down these images, and it's going to upload them into the container registry as well. So that's another part of this application. So container registry is a big part. And then while that's doing that, you can also see we're using Redis, so it's already created that within Kubernetes as well. So we're doing that. And then it's just pushing, as you can see, into the container registry. So it's pushing things in there as well. So for the purpose of this, what I'll do it's just about done. I'll just refresh here. If I hit refresh, you're going to see there's the web app. So the web app is ready, just about. And then once we get the IP to that web app, it's gonna create an external IP address within GCP. And then once that's created, we'll be able to start the crawler to bring those images in. It's just about there. Refresh there. Yep, it's almost there. It's got a couple more. There we go. So we'll look at, so I'm just going to look at the services, and it did it pretty quick. It's still probably the other one can probably take for a second, but I can at least get to the external web page here. And then once here's the application. Once we're here, we're going to just start this crawler. And what it's going to do is, like I said, it's going to look and start classifying those images using the Vision API. And just to do that, it's you could see the images it's pulling in, classifying whether you're looking at things like an otter or just different things in wildlife. The Vision API is looking at those images and putting them and classifying them. And things, this cat's in the cage here. Autumn, I'm sure it's looking at all the leaves here as well. And then if I refresh, you'll see even more images will come in as it's done. So now it's a lot more images. This is a vehicle door to that one as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the demo. As far as like to do this yourself, if you click on, I'll make sure the organizers have this link. It's all in GitHub as well, as far as this application and how in different ways you can use it, about the Redis web app, the working nodes, the whole 9 yards. So all that's there. So hopefully this information here will help you learn more about the Vision API, like what it could do, some ways you could use it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to share. Thank you.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Thanks for joining our event.
Appreciate it.
We completed your session. I will take it after that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.